most of us lead our lives in a sort of a confusion, right? We are always wondering what's happening to our lives. If something bad happens, then we ask ourselves, why me, right? Why now? Why is this happening to me? If something good happens, of course, we sort of pretend we either ignore that, so we just enjoy the fruits of what's happening, the good thing, or we sort of attribute that success or that good thing to our own intellectual capacity maybe, or our skills, or just our general greatness, right? So this confusion and this question comes about because we don't know what we control and what we cannot control. So today's quote is from Epictetus, and it's just about that. All right, so Epictetus in this quote says, "Some things are in our control while others are not. We control our opinion, choice, desire, aversion, and in a word, everything of our own doing. We do not control our body, property, reputation, position, and in a word, everything not of our doing." So what Epictetus is essentially saying is that anything that we do, we control, right? So do in the sense in our mind. Our choices, our like if an event happens to you, something happens to you, and you cannot control that event, you cannot control the outcome of that event, but you can control what you think about it, whether if you think that event is good or if you think it's bad, if you think it's fair or if you think it's unfair. So in a sense, we actually have great power, because if we can realize that we have control over what we think about a given situation or an event or anything that happens to us, by the very fact that we can choose to think either good or bad about it gives us power. So the next time something happens, something that you think is bad in that moment, is unfair, or is giving you a little bit of pain, just step back and see if you can control how you think about it. If you can take a look at it and say, do you know what? That's all right. This happened outside in the real world, right? And how I think about it in my mind, I can control that. I know it's going to be painful, and it's not always easy to sort of just say, I'm just going to let it go, right? Because let it go is essentially a part of this concept. Actually thinking through any given situation and analyzing it and looking at it from that perspective really liberates you. An honest look at what you can really control and what you cannot should really be a daily exercise. In fact, it should be taught at schools. It should be something that is discussed every day at home. If you're married, if you have kids, when you're talking to your kids, talk to them about this concept. If they are frustrated with something, if they are angry with something, if they're disappointed, if they're sad about something, just put it to them from a perspective of, ask them, can you control this? If something happened at school, if something happened at work, okay, your spouse perhaps, or even yourself, if something happened, let's ask this question: is there something that you could have prevented? Well, most people say, yes, I could have prevented it if I did not do this, or if I did this, or if I did not say this. Well, okay, that's fine. It happened in the past. You could not have really controlled it at that time. But in the future, maybe you can, because your actions you can control. So this quote is fantastic. I love it. Now, I know I love every one of these quotes, but this one really I think, is the master of all, because the moment we get clarity about what we can control and what we cannot control, really liberates you, and that's, I think, is fundamental to life, or business, or anything that you do. So going forward, if anything happens, if you're feeling down, if an event has really shaken you up, just step back and think, what can I control? I can control my internal, what I think about an event, okay? What I think about a situation, I can control that. I can control that, and I can think about it whatever way I like. I can think about it in a good way. I can say, it's actually a good thing. Why not? Let it be. Instead of just saying, oh my God, why did this happen to me? All right? So I leave you with that thought today. See you in the next video.